YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be the second half of the second trimester. So I think where I left off, I've got some notes here so I don't forget anything, since obviously this is covering several weeks. But I think where I left off is the baby moon, and we definitely had a lot of fun, but it started off a little crazy, I guess, because we ended up getting some pretty bad storms the first night that we were there. And the cabin that we were in, it was a multi-unit cabin, so we had like the front half of the cabin, and at one point a tree came down on the back half of the cabin that we weren't staying in, but it caused some kind of alarm to go off, and so then we could hear that, and then at some point a tree started to come down on the front half that we were staying in, but it was just like leaned up against, so like it didn't come through our cabin, but it, you know, kind of dented the front half and was like leaning up against our portion of the cabin. So yeah, things definitely got a little bit intense. I will say that that's probably the first time that I've ever actually felt nervous in a storm. I usually like stormy nights, but that was just like, okay, we're surrounded by trees and there's no basement to go to, so it's a little scary. So things let up for a little bit, and we were able to flag like a security person down who was, I think, coming around to like check the grounds and kind of like assess you know, the situation, since they do have a lot of trees on their property. And he moved us to their hotel portion of the resort, and we stayed there for that first night. Unfortunately, they also lost power until I think about 9 o'clock that night. Things never really like got stormy again, but it still took a while to get the power to come back. So we hung out in the lobby area because there was a lot more light in the lobby area. So we hung out there and just played some games until the power came back on, because otherwise in the room there really wasn't much light and not a whole lot to do without power. And then the next day we asked if they had any cabin rooms available, since that's what we had, you know, booked before. It was an actual cabin, not the hotel room, which, you know, the hotel rooms are nice, but you know, it's not a cabin, and all they had was a refrigerator and a Keurig, so not even a microwave, which we were relying on. So they did have a cabin room available that they moved us to, and it was actually a step up from what we had before, which was really nice, and it was right on the waterfront, so we had a really nice view. And it was a bigger cabin than we had been in before, still a multi-unit cabin, so there were other people in other parts of the cabin, but we saw people like going in and out every now and then, but we'd never really heard anything, so that wasn't an issue. So yeah, that was really nice, like a huge shower, like a giant bathroom, like TV in the bathroom and everything. Yeah, it was nice. So yeah, we just kind of made the most of the rest of the time that we had, because we had moved and like packed up our stuff almost like 3 times. So that was not fun to do, but it was still worth, I think, moving from the hotel to the cabin. And in the end, they did comp us one night for all the trouble that we had to go through for moving around and stuff. So that was really appreciated. So yeah, we, just kind of had a chill long weekend and did some browsing at the local shops and had some good food at the local restaurants and some of the restaurants at the resort. And we had a nice little spa day on our last day that we were there. So it was a nice way to end the vacation. Obviously went by way too fast, but that's typical. So let's get into some symptoms then. I have definitely felt a lot more movement, especially in the last half of the second trimester. So yes, baby boy is moving all the time now. I have experienced a little bit of, I did experience a little bit of belly button discomfort in the last half of the second trimester. It only lasted about a week, maybe, if that. But it just kind of felt like the area around my belly button was bruised. So it wasn't like super painful. It was just kind of like annoying. And as long as like there wasn't, anything like pressing on it, it wasn't too bad, but it was definitely something I noticed. I started going on a lot more walks, sometimes like two walks a day now. More recently, it's been getting like really hot out. So like the last couple of days, I've just kind of been trying to get movement inside. But for the second trimester, a lot more walks outside. So that's been really nice. But one thing I will say is that it did start to get a little uncomfortable. Some round ligament pain and stuff towards the ends of the walk. So I really need to find my belly band from my first pregnancy. I don't know what I did with it. I've spent some time looking for it and I can't find it. So I don't think I'm going to be able to let too much more time go by before I have to resort to buying a new one. Okay. So yes, then I had some blood tests done for just like labs, just to check and make sure that I am not trending towards preeclampsia, just because with my last pregnancy, I had slightly elevated blood pressure, but I do have the whole like white coat syndrome thing, and I had been like watching it, and when I take it at home, it was a lot more normal. So, but it's just one of those things where like the labs aren't gonna lie. And so even though I'm like checking it at home and, checking it when I go to my appointments, like it's just one of those things where I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And it really is just a white coat syndrome thing. Yeah, so I asked my midwife and we went ahead and did the labs to test for preeclampsia, just to kind of put my mind at ease, to be able to know that everything really is normal. And they all came back great. So no worries there. I did end up getting a second ultrasound, a slightly more in-depth ultrasound than the anatomy scan, because I had COVID, and they recommend that you have a follow-up ultrasound just to check and make sure everything is still on track with the baby and that everything looks good. And everything did look completely normal. So it was nice to have, even extra reassurance. Okay, so another thing that has changed is that my sweet tooth has come back now, and it's not one of those things where I start eating something, like I crave something sweeter and start eating it, and then my body's like, no, I don't want this anymore. Like I will actually be able to finish it, but when I do, I pay for it dearly because then I feel like crap the next day, or like later on that same day. So or I don't sleep well or something. So yeah, that kind of sucks, because before it was nice that where like I would crave it, but I'd start eating it, and then my body would be like, no, I don't want this. So I really wasn't ever needing to be concerned about going overboard with anything sugary. But now I crave it and can finish it, and then afterwards, like much later, it's like my body's like, why did you do this to me? So yeah, just I've been trying to be more mindful, but it's after it happened like the first couple of times, now it's gotten a little better, so it's not as much of an issue. But yeah, those first couple of times were rough. My sleep is still mostly good. I do have like occasional nights of insomnia, but nothing too crazy, and it's usually only one random night, so that's been good. And I have started a checklist for the third trimester, which I am now in, like just barely started the third trimester, which is still crazy to think about. Yeah, just like a checklist of like things that we want to get done before baby comes. So like things that we want to buy, either like for my birth or for baby, and things to pack in my birth bag is what I'm calling it, because it's obviously not a hospital bag, but even though I'm having a home birth, I decided I still want to have a bag for a lot of the things that I plan on using during the birth, because I just want to know where everything is, and so it'll just be nice to have everything in one place. And then this way, should anything happen, obviously we hope that it doesn't, but should it be necessary to, have to go to the hospital, then I have things packed, and that's one less thing to have to worry about in a situation that will likely be stressful if that happens. So hoping it doesn't, but it's nice to be prepared. I am still watching some birth videos of all different kinds. Just, I feel like it's nice to just be able to see across the spectrum, like the different kinds of birth. And even though I've been through it before, it's just nice to get in that like headspace and like start getting ready to go through that experience again. So yeah, I guess like the last thing that we need to make a decision on is if we want to have a little like sprinkle for this baby. So we had a baby shower for the first baby, and they say that if you have, like not as many things that you need to get for the second baby, then they call it a sprinkle rather than a shower. I still don't know. We kind of need to take the time to assess what we actually need and decide. So that I think that wraps up everything that I wanted to mention for the second trimester. So I guess the last thing is just doing a little bump update. I will say I don't think that a lot has changed since the last update, the bump update. Maybe I'll feel differently when I compare them, but yeah, I kind of feel like with this second baby, I've kind of gotten to the, I don't want to say finish line, but like I've gotten to like the bigger stage sooner, and so then I'm just gonna like, I like gotten there sooner, and then I'm just gonna stay there. Like there's not gonna be as big of a change in this last half. So but yeah, we'll see. I hope not, because definitely like I don't want to feel any more stretching of my belly than what I already have. So yeah, fingers crossed, we'll see, but I will still do the update. Okay, so this is the bump at about 28 weeks, almost 29 weeks. So, and yes, I am wearing a long sleeve shirt in the middle of summer, but this maternity shirt is from Target, and I don't always find good pics there from their maternity section, but this one I just happened to find on clearance for like $4, and the only size that they had left was small. In fact, I think this is the only one they had left, period. And it was just, it seemed really cute. But yeah, because the only size they had left was small, like it still fit, but I don't know how much longer it'll fit in case I do get more of a belly towards the end. So I just want to make sure that I have a chance to wear it before. Obviously, I'm not going to wear it outside, but you know, air-conditioned house, I'll be all right now. And I can wear it, you know, after the belly goes down. But, you know, obviously I didn't want to wait that long. I wanted to still be able to wear it at some point while pregnant. So I'm wearing it now just in case it doesn't fit at the end. So yeah, that is baby. Okay, well, I think that wraps up everything for the second trimester. If you have any questions, leave them below and I will try to get to them. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of content, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.